RZA, Ruler Zigzag Ziggalong from the Wu-Tang Clan, coming at you from the slums of Shaolin, y'all. When I'm not shilling for big industry, I'm pushing toxic culture and drugs on the children, yo, cause Wu-Tang is for the children. Gotta go vegan for the planet, yo. Hey, everybody. What's up, guys? Welcome to another Eat Meat, Make Families stream. Talking about all the celebrities. All the amazing celebrities are going vegan. How's my audio? What's up, everyone? Alright. So the Soy-Tang clan. The Wu-Tang clan. From the slums of Shaolin. Bringing toxic culture. The most famous drug dealers in Brooklyn, yo. Shaolin Allen, yo. Peace to the gods and the earths. The earths. Alright. So, last live stream, which was, get me in the frame. Last live stream, we talked about the Impossible Burger. The Impossible Burger. And we came upon some fascinating information concerning the Wu-Tang clan, RZA, RZA and Jizza, and Ghostface Killer. Everybody's favorite former crack dealers and current toxic culture dealers are now virtue signaling about veganism, pushing veganism for the Fortune 100. For the Fortune 100 companies that are funding this fake revolution. We've got another totally grassroots group of just really high integrity people promoting veganism now. The Wu-Tang clan. Wu-Tang is for the children. Old dirty bastard said. So, where to go? So we talked about how the BBC was referencing this article from a journal called PLOS. PLOS is the Public Library of Science. Science, the gods of science. Well, what's more powerful of a false god these days? What's more powerful than science as a false god? Well, celebrities. Celebrities. I'm sure more people will watch this stream than the last one. The last one was talking about the Impossible Burger CEO of the Impossible Burger, Impossible Inc. Patrick, what's his name? Patrick O. Brown. How this dude was behind the most recent push for fake meat. And, well, not for fake meat, but for the meat tax, rather. Taxing you for eating meat. Making the most integral pieces of human nutrition more expensive. Now, Henry Kissinger talked about using food as a weapon. Talked about weaponizing the food supply. Talked about using rationing of food as a weapon. Back in the 1970s. And he was one of the major forces behind the Rockefellers' push for the so-called Green Revolution. The Green Revolution. So hundreds of millions of dollars got pushed from the Rockefeller Foundation into the so-called Green Revolution. And then the Gene Revolution, which pushed GMOs on us, right? Using guys like Harvard, well, not guys, but groups like Harvard University, which was taking generous grants, generous donations from philanthropist David Rockefeller. You also had Oxford University heavily involved in the pushing of GMOs. If anybody wants to understand more about the Gene Revolution and the Green Revolution and how GMOs were pushed through government the State Department, characters like Henry Kissinger, groups like the Rockefeller Foundation, or rather NGOs like the Rockefeller Foundation, which are the driving force of change on a long-term scale nowadays. This book, Seeds of Destruction by F. William Engdahl, is really, really good. He breaks it down really well, cites his sources very well, talks about how Kissinger and his food as a weapon policy, how they aimed these weapons at countries like Chile, Argentina. Look at that. We've already got the people talking about flat earth we're talking about nutrition, guys. We're talking about health. We are fat earth. This is the fat earth society. We fat earthers here. And we're talking about the Wu-Tang Clan, yo. It's spelled earth. U-R-F. U-R-F. Earth. We fat earthers here. The earth is fat. That's one of the main problems. You feeding the earth grains. So, Seeds of Destruction. Great book. Highly suggest you read this for the history on. What's up, David? Thanks, dude. David's always throwing some super chats in there. If you want me to read your comments, you can throw the super chats. I'll be reading those periodically throughout the broadcast. I can't usually keep up with everything that goes on in the chat. I do try to keep it clean and keep the trolls out. And anybody that triggers me will be banned. And you can go complain on other channels how I banned you. You little vegans. So we're going to be talking about toxic culture, celebrity culture, and everybody's favorite washed-up crack dealers, the Wu-Tang Clan. The Wu-Tang Clan! Who I actually used to like Wu-Tang when I was in like high school. You know, they had some good stuff intermingled in there with their toxic culture pushing, drug promoting nonsense. They did have a few. They would bait me in, right? They'd bait me in. They had some conscious verses back in the day. No, you're not shadow banned, True Seeker. It's all good. I usually warn people before I ban them. Some people. But I try not to read the comments too much because it's a distraction. So we talked about Patrick O. Brown, who was Professor Emeritus, or is he? Yeah, he's Chief Executive and founder of Impossible Foods and Professor Emeritus at the Department of Biochemistry at Stanford University. Now, Stanford is another one of these universities always at the forefront of social engineering. If you look at Stanford's Changing Images of Man book, that publication is available as a PDF. Stanford SRI, do a quick search, Stanford SRI, which was Stanford Research Institute back in the day, Changing Images of Man document. This was co-authored by a bunch of different people. In fact, I think Joseph Campbell was even involved. Everybody's favorite New Age fake philosopher scholar, Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey. So now we got the Wu-Tang Clan on the hero's journey, just like Stanford Research Institute talked about, to change man's image of himself, to change man's connection to himself, connection to reality. And what is the image of man? In whose image was man made? Well, these people's goal is to remake man in the image that they desire. To remake man in the image of these toxic cultural icons like the Wu-Tang Clan. And this guy, Patrick Brown, Pat O'Reilly Brown, from Stanford Research Institute, is the CEO of Impossible Foods. He also started PLOS. PLOS is this journal. The, Public Library of Science. The PLOS. The Public Library of Science. He started this journal and has major say, obviously, in what they publish. And this journal is who published the article on using health-motivated taxes on red and processed meat, a modeling study on optimal tax levels and associated health impacts. So they published this article, which was then referenced by BBC, by all these other fake authorities and the consolidated prostitute media. They were talking about this article as a reference to why we should tax meat. Now, of course, this guy has huge conflict of interest because PLOS also published, what was that study called? We looked at it the other day. If you watched the last stream, we talked about another article that they published talking about how the Impossible Burger can help to bring the world into more health and sustainability and all these other fluffy feel-good terms that we hear nowadays. PLOS. Oh, that's so funny. PLO style. Method Man. So Method Man was even referencing PLOS back in the day. PLO style. Buddha monks on the Earl. Derp, derp, derp. Gibberish from my mouth. PLO style. Put the soy in my mouth. That's funny. PLOS. Doesn't stand for PLO style. Method Man's line from back in the day. It stands for Public Library of Science. But so the Impossible Burger CEO, Impossible Inc., also being heavily funded by billionaire philanthropists like everybody's favorite depopulation proponent, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill and Melinda Gates. Also these other venture capital firms out of China. Bill Gates heavily involved in investing in anything that he believes is going to decrease the population. He says that population control must be the number 1 priority with all of our philanthropy. So Impossible Inc. has raised almost $400 million, almost $500 million, to make a fake hamburger using genetically modified fake hemoglobin that comes from soy. So they're taking soy genes and modifying them, GMO soy being the basis for the Impossible Burger's bleeding burger. We're going to give it fake juices, right? These people understand that we need meat. And the human body, and the human vessel requires animal foods. We need fat-soluble vitamins. We need meat. We need protein and fat sources that come from animals. And we all know it inherently too. Biologically, your body knows it. So you got to trick people into buying into this bullshit diets. One of the great ways of tricking people into buying into this bullshit is celebrity. Celebrity. So Impossible Foods. What does this have to do with the Wu-Tang Clan? Well, let's go over here to Impossible's. This is Impossible's YouTube channel. Impossible Inc. Impossible Inc.'s YouTube channel. Let me find. Here you go. Here you have from plant-based news, some classic plant-based news. Maria Shirando at plant-based news. Look at RZA just looking so intelligent and present in this photograph. Looking so intelligent. So RZA, who's like a 50-year-old man now, still promoting toxic culture, drinking Hennessy on stage, smoking weed on stage. Vegan advert starring Wu-Tang Clan's RZA to play in cinemas before Solo, a Star Wars story. So before Disney's propaganda Solo, a Star Wars story. Who the hell even watched that? Does anybody even take... People still think Star Wars is cool? Does anybody watching this still think Star Wars is cool? Come on. Terrible. A pro-vegan advert star Wu-Tang Clan member, the RZA, zigzag, zigala, the RZA, is set to play on cinema screens in the U.S. as a movie preview. The ad, which will also play on lobby screens, will be shown in theaters of Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. before airing in other cities later this summer. The award-winning campaign, who gave it an award? You? PETA giving it an award? Was created by animal rights charity PETA. PETA, who's constantly dehumanizing celebrities, right? They get dumbass RZA to push their shit down. It shows RZA morph into different men, women, and animals while he speaks about how we're all the same. So that's what RZA's doing now. He's doing commercials before Star Wars movies when everybody's favorite, like he's a strong black man, right? Supposedly the strong man. Wu-Tang is for the children. RZA morphs into different men, women, and animals. So just totally dehumanizing. More of this transhumanist crap. We're no different in any important way than animals. Let's find that actual video. Here, we'll pull it up here. I got to make sure that it doesn't have any music All right. So I should be able to play this. I'll probably get demonetized regardless. For you use words like toxic culture and you'll get demonetized. So check it out. We got RZA. RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. Strong man, right? Strong man. Morphing into women and animals. We all the same, yo. Yeah, there's just a RZA for Peter. Bonk bonk, yo. Yeah, ruler zigzag zigalaw. Yo, what's today's mathematics? All the gods in the earths. All the gods in the earths. Let's see. Let's watch the Resurrector morphing into women. Soy Tang Clan member. Oops, I gotta unmute this. He's so heroic. What an amazing man. For PETA. Who's constantly dehumanizing celebrities, equating humans with animals, right? Putting Miley Cyrus's little sister mutilated on an ad, saying there's no difference between dissecting a frog or dissecting an abused child like Miley Cyrus's little sister. It's all the same. PETA, who's ritualizing child abuse in their ads. Ritualistically dehumanizing people and celebrities. We got the RZA promoting PETA, yo. For the animals. Save the earth. For my gods and the earths. Check it out.
We are all the same in all the ways that matter. It doesn't matter what we look like, how old we are, what language we speak, or who we love. It doesn't matter if we have fur, or feathers, or fins, the length of our nose, or the number of legs. We're not different in any important way. We all have thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we all sheep, yo. The first animal. Oh no, this is so funny. It doesn't matter what shape your nose is.
We are all the same.
We are all the same.
In all the ways that matter. It doesn't matter what we look like.
I'm an old lady,
how old
yo.
we are, what language we speak.
We all the same. You, me, Charles Manson. We all the same. Except Orange Man. Orange Man bad.
We love. It doesn't matter if we have fur, or feathers,
or feathers,
or fins.
Yeah, that ugly fish, that thing the same as my baby, yo. It's all the same. In fact, I'ma let that fish adopt my son, yo. Cause we all the same.
The length of our nose,
the length of
or
our
the number
nose.
of legs.
The number.
We're not different in any important way.
We all just animals, yo. It's all the same. A cricket, a baby, old dirty bastards, 20 bastard children who he left, who I probably don't take care of either, because I don't give a fuck about no one but myself. We all the same.
We all have thoughts and feelings.
We all sheep. Check it out. We all got thoughts and feelings.
We all feel love and pain.
You just a rat, yo. That little girl, she no more important than this little red-eyed, soulless rat, yo. We all the same.
And loneliness and joy. We can all understand, but we are not
just monkeys, yo. Cause evolution. Yo. We all just idiot monkeys and rats and sheep. We all the same. Caitlyn Jenner is Woman of the Year, yo. That's my favorite hoe in the world. Caitlyn Jenner is a real beautiful hoe, yo.
Understanding. We experience ourselves as separate from the rest, but none of us deserves to be treated with less respect.
If there's a snake in your room when you taking a piss in the middle of the night, yo, like there was in that guy Primal Edge Health's house the other day, And if you try to kill that snake and you flush it down the toilet, that's the same as flushing a baby down the toilet, yo. That's why I promote abortion too. Because we all the same.
Our task must be to break free from prejudice and to see ourselves in everyone else.
So heroic. Inside every body there is a person. RZA and PETA. Damn. That ad played before a Star Wars movie. We all the same, yo. We all the same. So I'm gonna give away all the money that I earn from this ad, yo. To the crickets. And to the sheep. And to the cows. Because we all the same, yo. And I'm gonna go smoke a big fat blunt. And try to forget how empty I am, yo. Then I'll get drunk as fuck. And go rap some verses from 1992. Yo. And try to relive my glory days. Yo. We all the same. That's the RZA. That's what the RZA's doing now. That's the Wu-Tang Clan. The Wu-Tang Clan. It's the Wu. Wu-Tang's RZA doesn't regret selling album to Martin Shkreli. So Wu-Tang Clan's RZA. Look at that guy. He's so tight. Look how beautiful he is in his crushed velvet suit, yo. I wear it a scarf, cause that make me feel sophisticated, yo. I wear these glasses so I don't go cross-eyed.
Martin Shkreli, who you don't really know. I guess you had lunch with the guy once, right?
Yeah. They said we have another guy. He just came on board. He's interested. He's young.
So RZA, when he became irrelevant after 1994, apparently he sold an album. Like, he made this album, and the album, it was a Wu-Tang album. And he was like, we're not going to go release it. We're just going to sell it to a private sell. We're going to sell it privately. So he sold an album to pharmaceutical exec Martin Shkreli. Do you guys know who Martin Shkreli is? Let's look at Martin Shkreli. Let's all learn who Martin Shkreli is. Pharma bro, Martin Shkreli, sentenced to 7 years in prison. Convicted fraudster Martin Shkreli is sentenced for securities fraud related to 2 hedge funds he ran and his former drug company, Retrofin. The notorious pharma bro gained infinity.
Better question was, how do we give
Shut up.
customers back time?
I'm sorry, that was a woman. I can't tell her to
helped
shut
us
up.
look at digital from every different angle.
I respect you as a woman, but please be quiet. The notorious pharma bro gained infamy for raising the price of the drug Daraprim by more than 5,000% while running the company then known as Turing Pharmaceuticals. Shkreli also had been ordered to forfeit almost $7.4 million and give up his ownership of a one-of-a-kind Wu-Tang Clan album because of his crimes. Right. So, I mean, everybody knows that modern art is a joke, right? Everybody knows that. So, like, what is this Wu-Tang album being sold privately thing? That's kind of a weird thing. Like, it's well known that, you know, a lot of this this shitty modern art is just used for money laundering. Well, maybe not the audience here isn't so well versed on that, but you know, I mean, you see a painting and it's just basically a white canvas with poop on it. No, that's not the most recent Wu-Tang album. That's like, you know, modern art, you know, or a blank canvas, and they'll sell for like $30 million. You know, these are ways that people can move money around illegally but legally. This is the way they launder money. So RZA, the RZA, the Zula Zigzag Zigala, he sold an album to Martin Shkreli. Where did it go? I gotta find that. Where'd that video go? He sold an album to this guy. Here's him talking about it. He doesn't regret it.
A Wu-Tang fan. He loves hip hop. Would you like to meet?
Yeah, this little rich billionaire, pharmaceutical billionaire, multi-generational money. He's a huge fan of the Wu-Tang Clan. Here he is talking to Bloomberg about that.
We had a brief lunch.
Brief.
He did mention his love of hip hop.
Right.
And I mentioned to him the importance that I think this record is, you know, to the legacy of hip hop. Not even 60 days later, he put a strong offer in.
Yeah. Do you have any like impressions of the guy? I mean, he's now like, many people think he's like a total jerk, and you know, he's. I mean, like I said, he's like the BBC I think called him the most hated man in America.
This
right?
guy that raised the price on wasn't the EpiPen? He raised the price on EpiPens by like 5,000%, or was it another drug? Either way, I mean, he's a total fraud.
The guy's behaved
RZA
in a lot
laughs
of ways
about
that
it.
have upset a lot of people, make him think he's kind.
Yeah, he made
what
money,
kind of vibe
yo.
did you get
He
off
made that cream, cash rule everything around me.
the guy when you met him?
We talked briefly about where he come from. Briefly, you know, about what Wu-Tang mean. He was actually he was present at this. We did a thing at MoMA where we played the 12
Museum
minutes.
of Modern Art.
And he was also in that audience. So
MoMA, which is historically used to totally degenerate culture, right? All modern art, totally degenerate. And actually, I mean, it's well known that the CIA was involved in the modern art movement. They said to combat the Ruskies, right? The evil Russians. We got to combat the Russians by giving you Jackson Pollock, by giving you total schizophrenic nonsense artwork that's going to degenerate your culture. Right. Highly suggest everybody. I talked about the Changing Images of Man, the Stanford Research Institute publication. You can find it online for free as a PDF. Changing Images of Man document. Read that. Very, very telling on how all of this ties in together for pushing this cultural zeitgeist, the spirit of the age, and for changing man's image of himself. Modern art is a huge part of that. And guys like this are just useful idiots for it, right? RZA probably has no idea. He just loves when people tell, oh, yeah, Wu-Tang Clan, yo. You a genius, RZA. RZA, you're such a smart man. You're such a genius. Why don't you come down here and sit at the table? We'll have a nice dinner. We've got little Bobby Monsanto here from Bayer Pharmaceutical. He's a huge fan of yours. And we really, really need your help getting this Ebola vaccine to be accepted within the communities of young black males. So we really need to get young black males vaccinated for Ebola. Your music is amazing. He's just like stoned off his own. Yeah, bon, yo, Wu-Tang for the children. You gonna have bitches and shit? It's just like just dumbed down, drugged out doofuses in the rap industry can so easily be maneuvered into pushing whatever agenda. Now, even if they think they're conscious, right? He talks about, oh, yeah, the gods and the earths. You know, pushing his nonsense religion back in the day. But, yeah, check it out.
Minutes, and he just really enjoyed the music. I couldn't measure if he was a guy in college. You know what I mean? I couldn't get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he buys the record, right? And then, you know, Bloomberg Businessweek does this story that says that he's the buyer of it. You then found out, you know, about kind of a little bit more about the guy, right? That he had jacked up the prices on these HIV drugs, and then, you know, subsequent to that, he ends up getting charged with securities fraud, right?
Wow.
So that's all this stuff that's happened since then, right?
Right.
And I know you put out a statement, you know, saying to the magazine, saying, hey, you know, when we came to this agreement, you know, this is all before I knew anything about all this stuff, and you know,
I don't know.
really
I ain't got time
this,
for
right?
that.
He's then quoted someplace in December. He said, "It's about you." He said you were arrogant, and he said he'd given you a bunch of money, and he said, I'd encourage him to shut the f up before he goes a little too far. We'll see what happens. I think he's a smart man. He definitely acts like his shit doesn't stink, and he invented rap. This concept of selling one album, this shit's backfiring for him now. That's what he said about you.
Wow,
That seems a little hostile.
That's a little hostile, but what could backfire from creating a piece of art, having an idea, and to see it grow into fruition? As far as me being arrogant, it depends on what day you catch me, baby. Look, I could be arrogant, right? Yeah. But
all right, that's pretty funny. So the guy bought his album and then totally dissed him publicly, called him an arrogant idiot. That's pretty funny. What is this? Daily Mail. How did the Daily Mail get there? A third of Brits know someone who is only vegan because it's fashionable. All right, so we got RZA. What does this have to do with veganism? Well, check it out. Wu-Tang Clan also Where'd it go? Impossible. Wu-Tang in space. Eating Impossible sliders. So not only did RZA do the PETA ad, we all the same, we all just animals, me, you, Charlie Manson are all equal, Joseph Stalin, everybody's the same, you can't judge people for what they look like and stuff, yeah, we all just sheep. Check it out.
Previously on Wu-Tang in Space.
Where'd it go? Come back. It's not showing. There it is. Impossible.
Peace. This is RZA 900, and you are aboard the Wu-FO.
The Wu-FO.
Clan, the RZA, and Ghostface Killer. We are on an interstellar quest to spread earthly love, seek new perspectives, and prime our world for the knowledge infinite. Respect to you earthlings. You have asked your questions, and today we reveal the answers. This is Wu-Tang in Space, eating impossible sliders.
Shit, you know what? I hope. Let me just make sure this doesn't have. Does this have? All right. I don't see anything.
Right now. So we coming back to the source, but before we do, we're going to speak about evolution. Who we are, where we've been, and where we're going.
Hey, yo,
Yeah, evolution. We're going to talk about evolution. Yo, we all just came from monkeys and shit, and now we're going to degrade ourselves into just monkeys and shit. We're going to evolve into eating plants just like our ancestors did. It's like Ghostface Killer. Ghostface Killer, all of his albums are about selling crack. Every one of his albums is about doing coke and selling crack. His whole persona, Ghostface's whole persona, is about doing coke, spreading toxic culture, smoking crack, and being a degenerate.
In Earth Queens, we miss Earth crazily right now. So we coming back to the source, but before we do, we're gonna
up here. This is a Lemurian seed quartz crystal. There was a lost civilization, Lemuria, that was heart-centered, and they put all of their wisdom into crystals just like this.
It's funny because they act like, oh, that's kind of crazy, yo, but it's no more absurd than all the New Age shit that they push. Right? They push the 5% nation crap where they say 5% is the gods. 95% of people are mentally dead. 5% of people is gods. It's like this nonsensical New Age bullshit.
Them in the ground. When I hold this crystal, I feel that connection.
So you gotta be open.
Yeah. So if you hold that, it's heavier than you think.
Yes, very heavy.
Yeah.
Damn, girl, it's a thick-ass crystal.
Would you like to hold it? So it's gonna bring you like.
Yo, I held bigger rocks, yo. I slang bigger rocks than that, yo. Ghostface.
Connect you to ancient wisdom, which it does bring some peace, right? The world's been around a long time, so all of the kind of day-to-day stuff that we go through that
what
makes
does this have to do with evolution, right? You gotta throw evolution in there. Evolution. Oh, you're all just beasts. We're gonna program you into thinking you're just beasts. And this bestial philosophy. What does this have to do? Lemuria, this New Age stuff. Supposedly we devolved since the Lemurians and the Atlanteans and all this nonsense. What are they talking about? Evolution. What does that have to do with evolution?
Stressed out.
Man, I am hungry. And we out of impossible sliders.
All right, everybody, strap in. We're going to White Castle.
Wait, hold on. The Lumerians.
The Lumerians are trying to bomb us now.
Your own voice and the communications that are happening within.
Okay.
How about you? You want your cards read?
Oh, so then they do some tarot readings.
There are no answers, just infinite questions. We have achieved full enlightenment.
And that's a bong bong.
There you go. Enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Impossible GMO burgers. Soy burgers from White Castle. What the hell is this? Such a joke. Such a joke. I obviously know many little thingies about the Wu-Tang. Someone says Liquid Swords is a masterpiece. Yeah, this is 1994, man. Come on. Long time ago. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hip-hop seemed semi-relevant, and people didn't understand the grand scheme of things, how this would be used to totally degenerate culture. Right? It's like I used to really like Wu-Tang, right? I used to really like Wu-Tang, Liquid Swords album, the earlier Wu stuff. But but come on. I mean, they were like one of these few groups that was in mainstream that would actually have some little semi-conscious messages woven in throughout the degeneracy. But let's be honest, like they would throw like every once in a while would have one verse where there would be something that's like semi true, right? So, I mean, like if Wu-Tang, they actually had a track called "Impossible" back in the day. I'll pull up the lyrics here. "Impossible" was their song, and now they're repping the Impossible Burger. And on this track, RZA had some lines that I used to think were really cool, like back in high school and stuff, because you didn't hear people talk about real stuff in mainstream music like in the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s. It was just full. I mean, my generation was just full on brainwashed into this degeneracy, right? We had like Jay-Z, big pimpin', spending cheese, big pimpin', just really, really lame whack stuff. You had, everything that was pushed in the mainstream was just full on toxic, right? You had, what else do you have? You had Britney Spears, right? That was like my little sister went to a Britney Spears concert. I remember when I was a kid. I was so upset, so mad. You had like little abused children like NSYNC. And like, even when we were kids, we knew what was going on. Like they were sexualizing Britney Spears. She was like 17 or something when they started sexualizing her in front of the media. I mean, she was on the Mickey Mouse Club with Justin Timberlake, and they sexualized these children really young, and they totally degenerate culture. And people, Miley Cyrus is a later example from like the generation after mine. But we all knew that it was just it was full of shit, right? Like this was being used to program us and to brainwash us. So it was like every once in a while you find like a verse or something, or you find certain artists that would say things that you resonated with. There was like, I remember Immortal Technique came around back in the day. And, I thought that was really cool. He was like one of the only people that was talking about like 9/11 back in the day in a different light. And he had those songs like the Cause of Death, where he would say a bunch of really messed up, degenerate stuff, but then at the same time, he would talk about things that I knew about, right? That like the 9/11 narrative and stuff like that was complete bullshit. He'd talk about, just he would have certain raps. People would talk about him and then later on he becomes like a full on like Che Guevara. He always rapped about Che, but like full on communist dummy. But Wu-Tang, they had some verses back in the day, right? So here's the RZA talking about. Let's see. Electric microbes, robotic probes, taking telescope pictures of the globes, babies being pierced with microchips stuffed inside their earlobes, then examinated, blood contaminated, vaccinated, lives fabricated, exaggerated authorization, Food and Drug Administration, testing poison on the prison population. My occupation was to stop the inauguration of Satan. It's like that was, I always liked a few of those lines from that track from Impossible. There was some other stuff that he put out that would have like every once in a while they'd put it in there. Cremate the whole Babylon, stuff like that, where it's you that they kind of know something that you're not really allowed to talk about in the mainstream, and they would slip it in every once in a while. And you thought like, yeah, they're fighting against it, but it's bullshit. It's total bullshit, right? All these people, they're just pushing toxic culture. They're just pushing nonsense, toxic culture, and it gets sprinkled with a little bit of reality in there every once in a while. You got to bait the people in. You got to bait all of us dummy kids in to actually buy into, oh yeah, these people are cool. They know what's going on. Yeah, they're fighting against it. They're fighting the man, right? Like Immortal Technique, like these dudes. Immortal Technique, he wasn't ever really that mainstream, but I mean, he was on Joe Rogan, I guess. It's pretty mainstream. So pretty Pretty interesting stuff, though, to see him go from that rhyme on impossible, talking about contaminating blood with vaccinations, fabricating lies, Food and Drug Administration testing poison on the prison population, to selling GMO heme from from fast food joints and doing ads before a Star Wars film for PETA. What a joke. Right? Oh, we're all just the same. We're all just like sheep, said RZA. And check it out. There's now also a Beyond Burger that makes the Korean-inspired Wu-Tang burger. So Wu-Tang is not only associated now, and I don't know if they gave Beyond, I'm sure they had to, right? If they're calling it in their stores, if Beyond Meat is calling a burger a Wu-Tang burger, I'm sure Wu-Tang had to sign off on that. So let's look at this. Wow, she looks super healthy, huh? Let's see what they have to say over here.
Oh, I can finally cook meat. Why?
Looks like a real burger. Beyond Meat, the Wu-Tang burger. Oh, shoot, I hope there's no... Okay.
The meat is surprisingly good. For real? There's no meat in
100% plant-based. First we have the Beyond Burger, 100% plant-based. There's vegan cheese and there's vegan mayo.
Get yourself down to the Butcher's Club and try this Beyond Wu-Tang. You're going to be surprised.
So I never had a Wu-Tang burger before, but I have to tell you that I was blown away by the taste and the flavor combinations of the Beyond Wu-Tang here at the Butcher's Club.
A joke, right? Check it out. I mean, it's not just, I mean, we got all these guys. You look at, what's that guy's? Russell Simmons promoting veganism as well. Let's see. Wu-Tang's RZA says a better tomorrow is a vegan tomorrow. Another PETA video. Yeah, oh, so spiritual, yo. I'm coming out of deep meditation, thinking about how I'm a god. Look at this. I like this shot.
When you think about
wait, where'd it go?
When you think about a better tomorrow, you think about veganism in the world.
There he is. Yeah. Take pictures of me, yo. I look so spiritual and stuff. Look at my spiritual trim beard, yo. Peace to the gods in the earth.
I don't need a dead animal or dead piece of flesh to go into my live body. There's not nothing on this planet that doesn't want to live. I had
nice shirt. One-eyed ODB.
You know what I mean? As that was happy to see me in their own animal way. I'm quite sure they did not want to be on my plate.
They don't want to be on my plate, yo.
I think hip-hop.
I mean, maybe he really thinks this is compassionate. It seems like he does, right? I mean, what would you be doing if the whole world pretended you were a genius, right? If you've just been whoring out yourself, your image, to be an idol for these kids for decades, and you know deep down inside that you're just a man, like that you're just a dude, constantly telling yourself you're a god, right? We the gods in the earth, we the gods, the 5% nation. You know, you might really believe that stuff, but deep down inside, he knows he's full of shit. He knows he's a man. He knows he's fallible. He knows he doesn't have the answers, that he is not the arbiter of reality. It's like, what do you turn to when you're constantly living this false reality? It's like people want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel like they're a part of something good, and they're guilt-ridden and ashamed at rejecting the truth, at rejecting real reality, at rejecting the truth that you're not fucking God, RZA. You know, people do inherently feel ashamed. They do inherently feel guilty. So then they find little ways to try and make themselves feel better. I want a virtue signal about veganism. I'm a vegan. I'm super spiritual, yo. Better tomorrow. Hey, actually, what was his verse on Better Tomorrow? Oh, here it is. Wait, there it is. Better Tomorrow. This is another one of his tracks back in the day. This is like another one of the few tracks that would have like some decent messages in it, right? So the The chorus was, you can't party your life away, drink your life away, smoke your life away, fuck your life away, dream your life away, scheme your life away, because your seeds grow up the same way. Well, dude, RZA, I mean, you're saying all this stuff. That sounds cool. That's the chorus on your track. But what did you do? Did you not party your life away, drink your life away, smoke your life away, fuck your life away, dream your life away, and scheme your life away? And how do you expect your seeds not to grow up the same way when you're whoring yourself out there to the media? When here's you in 2013, just high as a fucking kite. All right, so I've seen like Method Man live in Santa Cruz back in the day, RZA too. Method Man came out with a big old glob of coke in his nose, chinky ass, snot nose, big ass glob of coke in his nose. The people that were opening for him were known local coke dealers who used to hang out with these like dumb little white girls who went to school with me, and they thought they were real cool because they would give them coke and shit, right? Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the guys that was opening for Method Man when I saw them back when I was in college in like 2007 or something, after he was already washed up, one of the guys who opened for him ended up getting shot by police officers for breaking and entering in a woman's house on PCP, high as shit on PCP, with a knife in his hand. He ended up getting shot by the cops. So, I mean, these are the people these people hang out with and glorify, right? I mean, hey, shit, I paid money to see these people. At that show, Method Man, I remember, and this was like, and you always know people are kind of degenerates. He comes out with a big old glob of coke in his nose. It's like, all right, yeah, whatever, I guess. Yeah, you know, that was like 19 years old. It's like, yeah, okay. Kind of weird, but whatever. But then they start picking out chicks from the audience to send them back to their trailer. And every one of these girls that he picked couldn't have been over 19 years old. Several of them, especially one, was definitely like a 15-year-old girl that he was picking out from the audience. He had his boys. They had this whole thing. It was so freaking creepy. They had their whole crews on stage doing the Method Man, yo, METHO3, man, doing their degenerate rap music, smoking blunts on stage and shit, drinking Hennessy on stage. And he picks this like 15-year-old girl out of the audience. This girl was like right next to us. I remember thinking, just what a degenerate. Like that girl, and I was like 19 or 20, and I was like, I would feel guilty and predatory if I tried to do something with this young girl. And this guy was like 40-something years old, and I knew he had kids and was married, and he's picking out chicks from the audience to send back to his trailer. Total degeneracy. So here's RZA in 2013. Better tomorrow for your seeds, right?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, man. Wait, nah, this. Wait.
Union here at Bonnaroo, magical. People had the crowd weak. How's it? I mean, you guys been doing a lot of this, kind of popping up, teasing the fans. You know, with the 20th anniversary, a lot of people are hoping for some kind of.
Look at RZA. He's RZA the vegan talking about health. He's eating Lay's potato chips.
Real reunion album. Can you give us any kind of update or chance of that happening?
It's a work in progress, man. It's a little chisel. It's like you want to take our time, Joe, right?
We're gonna have that for you. You know, we straightening everything out right now. I'm getting the little kinks out or whatever. Is that, man?
All coked out, ghost face.
Yo, listen. 1 second, baby. 1 second. You know what I mean? We definitely gonna give y'all a 20th anniversary Wu-Tang album. You know what I mean? It's all in the makings. Tikal just asked the crowd. You know what I mean? Yo, make some noise as loud as you could if you want to hit. If you want another album, they made as much noise as they could. And that's, yo, we got no other choice to give it to them. It's a demand now. Look at my man. No.
He's still fired up. He's still fired up after the show.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Money do that to you.
Listen,
like
get fired up. You know what I mean?
What the hell's RZA on?
Yeah. What's
RZA's on that
What's it like when you guys get a chance to get back together? Because the energy is almost palpable. Like when you guys get together on stage, it's like
it's natural.
You can see. RZA, when are we gonna see everybody in the movie? When are we gonna see some kind of Wu movie, all characters in the movie? When are we gonna see that?
Look, RZA on his 1-2-1-2 right now. You know what I'm saying? He on his 1-2-1-2. We at Bonnaroo. He's having a great time.
Celebrating too hard though.
Yeah.
He's having a great time. He's having a great time. All right, he having a great time. No, it's good. It's gravy. It's gravy. It's gravy. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, RZA being a degenerate right now. He too intoxicated. Come on. Talking about a better tomorrow, dude. That's the example you set for your seeds. Where'd that video go? RZA
becoming more conscious, about their diets.
Oh yeah, let's check out some of his. He talks about don't party your life away, drink your life away, smoke your life away. All of your albums are just about partying, drinking, and smoking weed, and then every once in a while you throw in some shit that's like fake, that's like fake conscious, right? Where's RZA's verse on this? His verse was pretty funny on this one. It was actually pretty good. Bitches love dances and pulling down your pants while your man's on tour. You spending up his advances. Your friends ain't shit. All they do is drink, smoke, and suck dick. The whole project is trapped in 6. Blah, 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 blah. The 15 years old shorty acid top out 99-cent beer drinking pussy stinking fucking so much your ass and titties start shrinking. New world order slave trade minimum wage Medicaid can't a devil fool a Muslim nowadays. So every once in a while throw in a little semi-conscious thing. Conscious. All right, but I mean really the fruit of this stuff, it's all just degeneracy. As usual, thanks for the knowledge you done dropped us. Any information on garlic being harmful is a seasoning. Peace to the gods. Says Transition Point. Hey, Transition Point. Thanks for the $5, dude. Look, all right. So garlic, garlic is a natural antibiotic. It's potent. Some people, when they're having spouts of diarrhea and stuff, they'll use garlic to stop it. There are not blood-brain barrier, but it can supposedly desync the hemispheres of your brain and have effects on consciousness. Garlic, I don't think it's the greatest thing to be using all the time, but using a little bit of seasoning, dude, that's no big deal, man. I mean, how much garlic are you really using if you're seasoning your food with it? I think people get splitting hairs on a lot of this stuff and don't really think, and we overthink it. So I would say just with garlic, maybe don't overthink it, man. Just if you like some garlic on it, use it, but I wouldn't, juice garlic or eat a whole clove of garlic or a whole head of garlic rather. But yeah, hey, thanks for the $5, dude. Have a good one, man. So yeah, let's go back. Let's hear what he says about being vegan, conscious about your diet.
Hip hop is becoming more conscious.
Hip hop is becoming more conscious. Yeah, with Lil Peep and all these other like trans rappers and stuff. It's becoming more conscious. What are you talking about more conscious? How has hip hop become more conscious at all? Hip hop has become more dumbed down. Hip hop is just all about pushing pharmaceutical drugs now. It's just about pushing lean and shit, right? All these dudes are all zannied up. All these guys are... Hip-hop went from when you were younger and when you started out to pushing the CIA's illegal drugs, right? You guys were all about selling coke and drugs, selling illegal drugs. Now hip-hop is about illegal drugs plus all the state-sanctioned pharmaceutical drugs. So it's about pushing oxys now. It was that guy like Mac Miller or whatever. Didn't he pass away recently? All these dudes, Lil Wayne, the most popular rappers nowadays are all about pushing pharmaceuticals, codeine, opioids, and anti-anxiety medications. How is hip-hop becoming more conscious? Hip-hop's becoming tranny. It's becoming more degenerate, not more conscious.
The diets. I think some of it started back with KRS-One having a song called Beef. And giving us an idea of the process that animals go through, to make it to our tables, the uncleanliness of the factories and the situation of how a hamburger is made. All what you eat, right? So if this cow who's stressed, dumbfounded, sick, becomes your meal when you eat it, you're eating that stress.
So, all right. So when they're showing you this propaganda, you have to understand that that's right when the cow has had his throat slit, right? They're only showing you the most extreme. The only moment when this animal is suffering his entire life, they're doing it in this clean room. The cow is having its throat slit and it's being slaughtered. There's several ways you could kill a cow. You could pop it in the head with a gun. Here, what they'll do is sometimes they'll take a knife and they'll stick it back in the spine, so it kind of paralyzes them and stops them from flailing around and moving. And then they'll slit the throat and they'll bleed it out. So it's like they're taking this propaganda and they're just constantly rerunning that one moment. Even the grain-fed cows, they're only eating grain for less than 10% of their life.
Sickness. You're eating that fear.
Eating that fear.
And as far as my peers and people that's related to me, they appreciate the vegan lifestyle. You know, it's really spreading.
Look, my water did it again. It's
a better
freezing.
Tomorrow, to sum it up, means if we're doing good today, you still want to do better tomorrow. But if you're doing bad today, you need it better tomorrow.
Yeah, that's deep, yo.
For more information on how to help animals and help yourself,
we got
check
the
out
Eat Me Make Families hoodies on the website now. Eat Me Make Families hoodies on the site. Trigger your local vegans at the farmers market with the Eat Meat Make Families hoodies. Trigger your local anti-natalists. So the better tomorrow is vegan. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Anybody really buying into this stuff? A better tomorrow for you might be vegan if you're taking them ducats from Impossible Burger, pushing Bill Gates' fake burger company, right? Like, for some people, a better tomorrow might be vegan. But for people who really want to be healthy, people who really want to live, we're going to need animal foods to feed our kids. People who actually have children that they spend time with and raise are going to have to feed them animal foods. All right, you're not going to get fat-soluble vitamins. You're not going to get vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2 from the Impossible Burger. You're not going to get these fat-soluble vitamins that you need from a Beyond Burger. Now, and I'm sure when Memphis meats and when these lab-grown meats come out, all these celebrities and all these drugged-out, played-out hip-hop artists are going to be repping the fake meat. Right? They'll be selling their likeness to sell the fake meat when that stuff comes out too. But this is a joke. This is a total freaking joke. All right. So I guess that's probably it on Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, there's other videos pulled up. I don't know. The Atlantic, right? So The Atlantic, like one of the major mainstream publications, talking to Russell Simmons on how to be vegan, how to defend being vegan.
I'm here with Russell Simmons, author of Happy Vegan, founder of Def Jam. Were you the first celebrity vegan?
Einstein was a vegan.
Yeah, he was.
Right, he was pretty famous.
Einstein wasn't vegan, so he was probably vegetarian. There weren't vegans back then. He was a vegetarian.
To veganism. So what I wanted to talk about today is kind of how to make that argument to people, because I still think there's a lot of resistance when you talk about veganism to your friends, family, everyone. Yeah, I had a little setup I thought we could do.
Go ahead.
Because I think you're really good at arguing.
I've been the devil's advocate all day. That's right.
Okay, so let's go through one of them. I can't give up meat because meat is delicious.
Well, your taste palates change very quickly. Once you take something that's good and healthy, you don't want to go back to the thing that makes your body sluggish. So you decide you like that. You learn that it's better within a few short weeks. Next.
Veganism is expensive.
That's bullshit too.
Yeah.
If you're in the hood, you can go to a Chinese restaurant and get a curry tofu. You know that, right? You can always get curry eggplant or, black bean sauce and eggplant. And, you can, as always, a way out, of eating animal product even in the hood.
I want to have big muscles. I understand that having big muscles will be good social currency for me, and women might find it attractive. I'm speaking on a hypothetical grounds here for another man. Obviously, that's not a problem.
Did you lose any muscles? There are weightlifters who eat vegan.
Yeah.
And there are athletes and football players and others, and they do just fine. And there's lots of diets that are vegan that could make you build up and bulk up.
I don't believe everything I hear about livestock production being a major cause of global warming, land degradation, air pollution, water pollution.
This is man-made, and that we are contributing greatly to global warming every day, and the animal industry is the number one cause of it.
What about socially? It's awkward. It's socially awkward.
That's their problem, though.
People think that you're being superior when they order meat and then you order a salad.
I know they say it, but I find vegans to be humble and sweet and passionate.
I find that about you and me. Just some people have that stereotype.
You find yourself to be sweet and humble?
Yeah. I think I'm one of the humblest people I know.
That's a sweet, humble statement.
Shit, I hope that might have been. All right. Hopefully there was no music in there. That you just never know. I mean, this video is destined to be demonetized. Just Plants, vegan hip hop legends.
I think hip hop is becoming more conscious, you know, about the
Doesn't get vegetarian for 4 years. I'm Master Killer. 13 years of my life I've dedicated to being total vegetarian. I has been a vegetarian for 4 years. I have noticed little health differences.
Like bleeding from my butthole.
Look
It keeps you alive, you know.
Whole week.
So a lot of that helps, you know, a lot.
Snoop
But it's the
Dogg.
spirit that keeps
Everybody's
you alive,
favorite. Everybody's favorite degenerate, Snoop. Is fucking vegan.
And what got you into being a vegetarian? Like, cause I know you started off, you know, doing what we normally do.
I
But
ate
what
pig
got you?
feet and all that shit, chitlins, whatever the fuck niggas put in front. I ate everything. The vegetarian thing came, you know, after practicing yoga, you know, for a few years, and my gurus, you know, it's like gurus remove of darkness, like, and so they, you know, we talk a lot about animals and the 40 billion animals that suffer every year, that are made to be born to suffer, and then they fuck up the environment.
So none of these guys actually talk about cleaning up their neighborhoods, never promote family, don't promote, you know, actually, you know, none of them promote monogamy. None of them promote raising children. None of them talk about how to protect your children from pedophiles. And they're in an industry that's full of these pedos. None of these people talk about this stuff, but they're going to virtue signal about spirituality. And I got into it because of yoga. Because yoga got me vegetarian. Come on.
Resources, so niggas starve. They take all the water, so niggas thirsty. They take everything, and all they do is make us sick.
The animals take all the water. The animals take everything, and they just make us sick. Come on, dude. See how disconnected these people are from reality? None of these people have been involved ever in actually making their own food and actually growing their own food. They're just, look at that, Colt 45 liquor on here. Sneakers, right? Pushing fake corporate Rasta religion. Trustafarians. Come on.
And it's the worst.
We're getting some downvotes. Look at all these people watching. Nobody hits thumbs up. What's up with that? I don't like asking for people to hit like, but if you're going to watch this and you want this stuff to actually spread, you want people to see it, the algorithms, they run off of these freaking thumbs up and the views and shit. So if you like what you're seeing, click the damn thumb. It takes half a second. Click the damn thumb up. And if you don't, then leave. If you don't like what you're seeing, leave. Don't thumb it down. Just bounce.
Disaster in the history of the world. You can't get worse than that, than killing 40 billion animals. Make them born so we can kill them. Because, you know, they wouldn't, the cat.
None of these people talk about the toxic culture that they're spreading, that's putting people in prison on a regular basis, spreading gang culture, spreading drugs, sexual diseases, right? All these guys, all their record labels are promoting guys that talk about regularly about sexual practices that will result in diseases like HIV. They're talking about discussing degenerate sexual practices, but nobody talks about this. They're virtue signaling about animals. Look at that nice G right there. What's the G? Snoop.
Wow.
Give me heart disease, but need you in my kitchen.
Nas.
Master Killer.
Let's see.
But it's the spirit that keeps you alive, you know?
And what got you into being a vegetarian? Like, cause I know you started off, you know, doing what we normally do.
I
But
ate
what
pig
got you?
feet and all that shit. Chitlins, whatever the fuck niggas
Put the same thing twice in the same video. Here's RZA eating spicy wings, but RZA did. I was gonna laugh, and actually I previewed this one, but yeah, RZA was eating fake chicken wings. We're not different in any important way. We already watched that clip. Here's Waka Flocka. Super effeminate looking, huh? Waka Flocka. Waka Flocka Flame. Is that his name? Waka Flocka Flame?
Fuck did your ghetto ass turn vegan? That's exactly like the first word. It was like, yo, do you know you're going in history as the first vegan rapper? Hood vegan rapper? I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, like, why are you vegan? Like, what is the reason? Somebody thought I was like fighting cancer or something. Like, I'm like, nah. Like, I just didn't want to be fat. I got tired of breathing hard. I got tired of my joints hurting. I just got tired of being lied to. Michael, a lot of them burgers look good as fuck.
Bro,
But I could go get me a vegan burger.
I miss Chick-fil-A, bro. I have wet dreams about Chick-fil-A.
I had one last night about the number 2.
Look at, all right. Waka Flocka, these rappers making vegan blueberry muffins, wearing aprons, right? None of these guys promote real family, right? Like, how about having a wife that can prepare food or that can take care of children? None of these guys promote any of this. They promote polyamory. They promote degenerate sexual practices. I have no idea like who these guys are, but I'm sure I saw Waka Flocka or Waka Flocka or whatever his name is, Wanka Jenka. I saw him in a PETA ad. I'm not sure what he actually raps about, but I mean, come on, dudes. These dudes are wearing dude's wearing an apron. Look at his hair. Like, how many hours does it take to do your hair like that? Those are dorks. Like, none of these people promote family. None of these people talk about real issues in their neighborhoods. Loqua 007, thanks, man. Sending euros. Is that euro or is that something else? It's like none of them promote anything real. None of these people promote anything that's truly positive. It's just all ego. And of course, the record labels are the ones who are pushing this. These guys are just the dupes, right? And a lot of these people know it. Right? When I was a kid, we all knew what was going on. We all knew that this was degenerating our culture. We would all make jokes about how Britney Spears and NSYNC and these dudes were getting molested by record execs. And at the time, it was like kind of funny, but we all kind of knew that it was true. And it's sad thinking back on it now because these people are like, I mean, they're broken. Look what Britney Spears, look what she became. After they turned her into a whore in the public, her psyche is broken. Look at Miley Cyrus. Look at Miley Cyrus now. Waka Flocka. Let's fast forward it.
All right.
It's great. Until the bowl of life.
Look at his hand. It says "pay me." His tat says "pay me," because that's what matters to these people. That's what matters to these people. They will sell their soul for 15 minutes of people bowing down to them and telling them that they're great. They know that it's just a few minutes. He knows that 10 years from now, no one's going to care who he is. But they still do it.
No oil in there. Yeah, lemon zest.
Boy, when the heat hit it, though, it definitely works. Just got to chop at the coconut oil.
So delicious.
So now what we're going to do
milk.
is liquefy the coconut oil because earlier we should have just put the coconut.
Look at this. What's like so effeminate?
Just put the coconut.
Gotta give
We should have just put the coconut.
Wow. What is going on here? This is crazy. Where's suggested videos are funny. They just think I'm like a total vegan. All this weird vegan stuff comes up in my suggested videos. Conversation with Jizz about being vegetarian. I mean, this guy's like 50 years old, and he still gets up on stage, drinks Hennessy, smokes weed, and raps about selling drugs. Cute little voodoo shrine next to him.
I kill an animal to eat it. Why you don't eat dog?
I love dogs.
We talked about, look at these guys talking to him. Elvis, the ultimate degenerate cultural icon next to him. Look at these guys. Look at this dude's pants are ripped open. That guy's pants are ripped in half. What is this? We don't eat dogs. I don't eat my dogs because my dogs are here to guard my chickens and my cows from other dogs and from intruders. I don't eat my dogs. I feed my dogs so that they can protect my home. Look at the chat. Carnivore forever. Someone says, yeah, racism is still a thing, but most is encouraged through elitists and media in the States. Yeah, for sure. Well, people are inherently tribal, right? People are inherently tribal. But this stuff gets twisted, and I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. Someone says, we was Vikings. We was Vikings. We was Vikings. That's like the, yeah, that's for these dork race idolaters talking about bringing back paganism, right? All these weirdos like Varg and stuff talking about, oh, the white race, the white race. Come on. Look, everybody has the right to be proud of whoever they are. I'm cool with that, but a lot of these people are just such dorks. You got we was Kangs guys, and then you got we was Vikings. I'm stealing that. Who said that? We was Vikings? I don't know. Andrew says, no, that was the weed that did that to Miley. Yeah, right. That was part of it. All the Molly that she was doing, that's what does it. Have you ever known people who got really into MDMA? Have you ever seen what that does to people? Well, I mean, knowing people who get really into acid is interesting too. You know, I've gone through periods. I never went through any of the MDMA stuff. That stuff is terrible. I saw right away how fucked that makes people in the head. But like, any of these drugs people are pushing. Now everyone's talking about micro-dosing and stuff. Just more distractions. Pushing more of the establishment drugs, right? You get the dumbass fake intellectual white people will push the LSD and the Molly, and then the dumbass hood folks are going to push the coke and the lean and all this other stuff. And then everybody takes the pharmaceuticals, and everybody eats the GMO food. We was Vikings. That's so funny. We was Vikings. That's genius. Exactly. Be proud of your own accomplishments, not flukes. That's funny, yeah. Right? Everyone pretending like, oh, well, I'm this race, so I did this. I built the pyramids. I invented science. Right? Come on, get out of this LARPing. That's not. I mean, what's gonna really pull people together is common theology, a belief in the truth, a connection to truth, and that goes beyond just like race idolatry and all this nonsense. How tall are you? 5'8.5" or 9. I used to think I was 5'9". And then last time I measured, it was like 5'8.5". Maybe I'm getting shorter now. The lack of plants is going to make me shorter. Owen Benjamin says if you're below 5'7", then you're like inferior. I think I made the cutoff. I don't know. You have to ask Owen. MDMA makes your jaw swing. MDMA is horrible. Molly is the worst. And now it's becoming very mainstream, talking about, oh, MDMA psychotherapy, MDMA assisted psychotherapy is going to save the world. These are the same people pushing that actually made it illegal in the first place. Have you seen that dumb rapper Stitches? He promotes Molly. Yeah, they all promote drugs. That's what it's about. The whole rap industry is about promoting the toxic culture so the kids buy the drugs, then the kids go into prison, and then the kids become addicted to the drugs. The kids become addicted to the pharmaceuticals. The real push now, though, is like it seems most of rap now is about the nonsense, the pharmaceuticals, right? It's about the Xanny bars, the Xannies, all that crap. My half-brother's dad is an acid casualty from the 70s. He took hundreds of hits in high school and became this hyper-religious zealot that constantly writes poetry. Yeah, dude, lots of acid will do some crazy things to people. Hey, I'm not one to talk. I've taken drugs. I'm not judging you guys out there, but please don't think that acid's going to make you intelligent or that it's going to make you spiritual. It will make you spiritually deceived. It will deceive you. It will open you up to experiences. It will open you up to very, very intense spiritual experiences. And yeah, you smoke DMT, you take ayahuasca, you go drink San Pedro, you go into the spiritual realms. But what's waiting there for you is not something you really want to be messing with, most of you. But some people do. Some people want to do it anyway. Some people think that they're brave. Some people think they're the shit. Rappers went from dealers to junkies in a decade. Yeah, exactly. It's about turning all the little kids into junkies. Yeah. No, MDMA is one of the worst ones. It's one of the worst ones. Look, lots of acid, that'll screw you up. Lots of mushrooms. I've seen people really mess themselves up with that. But MDMA, that's one that's going to really mess people up permanently. You can come, I mean, people do recover from it, but the people who do it for prolonged periods of time regularly have major issues with depression, with memory. It's sad. So yeah, toxic culture, guys. There's people spreading toxic culture. Look at that, I've still got 4 dislikes. How do I get rid of these 4 dislikes? I gotta find the vegans who dislike the videos instantly. If you guys are watching, you do actually hit the like button. It does help this to get boosted up in the algorithms, because this will get demonetized. This will get demonetized. Somebody said CBD really helps me. Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with CBD. It's not psychoactive. It's not fucking people up. If you smoke weed, you're not a carnivore, says somebody. All right, it's like, we was Vikings. Every time I see that, I'm going to laugh, dude. That's so funny. We was Vikings. You should go post. You got to go post that on all these white nationalists. We was Vikings. All these LARPers. E-tards, exactly. That's what we used to call them, too. E-tards. That's what we called them when I was little. All right. So.
Open them, you know, and why kill an animal to eat it, you know? Why you don't eat dog?
I love dogs. To pet, not to eat.
He's funny, too.
No, no.
You wouldn't eat a dog, right?
No.
Why?
If I was starving, I would.
Share emotions with a dog.
And you don't with a chicken or a
No,
cow?
I agree with that sentiment. I am wrong.
See, these people have never lived around chickens or cows. That's the thing. Like, Jizza grew up in the city. He's never been around cows or chickens. Look at these kids. You think these kids have ever touched? Look at that kid. They're wearing blazers. They're stoned off their ass.
Eating chicken as well.
Well, I didn't say you were wrong. I'm just saying. I mean,
The thing about meat, though,
Look how guilty he feels. You see how guilty he feels? He's like, oh, man. Jizza thinks I'm mean because I eat chickens. I should go vegan. You know, this black guy thinks I'm mean because I eat chicken. I wonder if he thinks I have white privilege. I want to prove to him I don't have white privilege. I'm going to go vegan. Come on.
well, I don't think meat tastes awesome. I think
Really?
you
Okay.
season it. You ever heard the song called Beef?
You don't need to season it. It does taste awesome. You can make a steak with nothing on it, not even salt, and it'll taste amazing. You can eat it raw, and it tastes amazing.
But I'm going to recite that lyric, and we're going to end it on that note, all right? It goes like this. Beef, what a relief. When must this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You could believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow, the way it gets to your plate and how. The cow doesn't grow fast enough for man.
Yeah, someone says I saw Jizza live. He was on the Henny Heavy. Exactly, dude. I saw him live, too, back in 2007 or 8. And he got wasted as shit on Hennessy on stage, was smoking random kids' joints from the crowd. And, like, asking, people were throwing up joints, and he's, like, collecting them and keeping them. He's a degenerate, dude. Super drunk on stage. At least he wasn't like Method Man coming with a big glob of coke in his nose. When I saw him, came out with a big old glob of coke in his nose and was picking out 15-year-old girls to send back to his trailer. And he was married with kids at the time.
With greed, he makes a faster plan. He make drugs to make the cow grow quicker. Through the process, the cow gets sicker. 21 different drugs are pumped into the cow in one big lump. So just before it dies, it cries in a slaughterhouse full of germs and flies. Off with the head, they chop it, drain it, cart it. There it is in your local supermarket. Red and bloody, a corpse neatly packed. And you're wondering about heart attacks? Come on, let's be for real. You are what you eat is the way I feel, but the Food and Drug Administration would tell you meat is the perfect combination. You see, cows live under fear and stress, trying to figure what's going to happen next. Fear and stress can become a part of you and your cells and blood. This is true. So when the cow is killed, believe it, you preserve those cells and freeze it. You throw it out with the blood and season it. Then you sit down and begin eating it. And your body's structure becomes your structure. All the fear and stress of another. Any drug is addicted by any name. Even drugs and meat, they all the same.
Oh, these dumb kids. They're like, oh man, I hope vegan thinks. I hope RZA thinks I'm cool. I'm gonna go vegan. Will he think I'm cool if I'm vegan? Funny shit. All right, it's been a while now. It's been like an hour and a half. Should probably get going. I don't know. There's some other stuff to look at here. I've pulled up a bunch of stuff. All right, we've already looked at this. UN urges global move to meat and dairy-free diet. So, of course, you know, Wu-Tang and all these rappers are pushing the UN's little agenda. The UN is also talked about, created by people whose #1 goal is to depopulate the planet, to remove human beings from the planet. All the useless eaters, a.k.a. you, me, and our children, need to be removed because we're taking up all their precious resources. Henry Kissinger, writing in National Security State Memorandum 200. National Security State Memorandum 200. Look that one up. NSSM 200. NSSM 200. Read that document. All about the need to depopulate the third world because they're taking all of our resources. We got to get those vital resources. We need big business to get those resources. Henry Kissinger always was a member of the Rockefeller clan's little clan. Right? Rockefeller Records, Jay-Z. Think it's a coincidence? I do not think so. So yeah, KRS-One, what a joke. Another washed up doof. Netherlands aims to shift to 60% plant-based. How vegan living can help meet sustainable development goals. So if you don't know about the sustainable development goals, very, very interesting. The sustainable development goals are right here. The Global Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. All of these are complete gobbledygook nonsense that really mean nothing, but they sound really cool to the average dumbass who grew up in the public education system, who were primed and brainwashed into the ideology that will make you receptive to these messages. No poverty. We're going to end poverty. How are you going to do that? How are you going to end poverty? Oh, we're going to make everybody fucking poor. No poverty. Zero hunger. Good health and well-being. Right? All this it's nonsense. Gobbledygook. How are you going to end poverty and hunger? Good health and well-being. You know how they're going to do these things? Well, GMO foods, pharmaceutical drugs, GMO foods, Bayer Pharmaceutical Foods, and big agriculture. The Green Revolution. The camera's all messed up. Smudged. The Green Revolution and the Gene Revolution, the GMO revolution, are going to solve poverty and hunger. How are we going to solve poverty? Well, we're going to redistribute all the wealth. We're going to crowd everybody into smart cities, into the smart city coffin apartments, and everyone's going to be poor. Quality education. You all know what that means. We're going to brainwash your children. Gender equality. Gender equality, because somehow we're supposed to believe that the genders aren't equal. Gender equality means we want everybody working and we want everybody to be taxed. Clean water and sanitation. Oh, great. You're going to give us clean water and sanitation. How are you going to do this? Affordable and clean energy, meaning consolidated energy grid where everything is controlled through centralized AI, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities. How do you define inequalities? Well, you're going to make everyone the same, huh? Reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, i.e. Blade Runner smart cities. Blade Runner 2049, you ever seen that? That's what they mean. Responsible consumption and production. Climate action. Life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Partnership for the goals. So this is about creating a global economic order where everything is centralized through these big corporations and NGOs that are actually putting this stuff out. How vegan living can help meet the Sustainable Development Goals, says PETA. So PETA's all about it. PETA's all about it. And you got a lot of these dictocrats over at the UN talking about using plant-based diets to feed the world and to stop climate change now. That's the new one. Eat meat, you're the reason for climate change. This is why we say eat meat, make families, guys. Giving your kids proper nutrition, giving fat-soluble vitamins, being involved in the production of your own food, right? Having your own food. You don't need very much land at all to have goats. You can have a lot of goats on less than an acre. You can have a lot of chickens in a very small area and have your own viable source of nutrition that's turning inedible cellulose into edible food. But these people want to take away your rights, or not even your rights, because what are rights, right? What are rights? They want to take away your ability to actually feed yourself. They want to remove you from the knowledge of how to actually implement animal husbandry practices and use organic farming and use animals to turn inedible food into edible protein and fat. They want to remove your knowledge and make you feel guilty for doing that, move you out of rural areas, take that land, and crowd you into smart cities where they will feed you the Monsanto slop. We're literally Blade Runner 2049 is what these people have planned through this sustainable development stuff. Allowing a shift towards plant-based diets to meet the SDGs, which is Sustainable Development Goals. She works for the Estonian Vegan Society. Now, Estonia is very interesting. When you see what Estonia is doing with this like online citizen thing and this cryptocurrency type stuff that's going to be used for smart cities and the sustainable development stuff, very interesting. We're not going to read that article right now, though. Here's the Global Food Trail. The Trail of Tears. The Global Food Production Map. Here, I don't want to pull up the PDF. I'll just look at it here. That's where fruit and vegetables come from. That's where these come from. They get robbed from poorer countries through free trade. They get taken from these poorer countries, not robbed. You know, people willingly give up their resources. These governments get fooled into it through trade agreements. They get taken from South America, from Africa, places like California, exported all over the world to feed these technocrats and these dictocrats who are telling you that it's unsustainable to have animal foods. Whereas if these people stopped exporting their foods and focused on feeding their own populations, if people focused on building families, on management of their own land, which they actually own legally, if people focused on real animal husbandry, you wouldn't need to be exporting these foods all over the world. You wouldn't need to do that. Look at that. That's where your food is coming from, fruitarians. And that's sustainable, but having cows and chickens in your yard is not, right? So I can have cows. I can have those cows just eating grass on the land, and then I can slaughter a cow, feed my family for a long period of time from one animal. Feed multiple families from one animal. Hundreds of pounds of meat. Hundreds of pounds of edible protein and fat. With zero input of labor, with zero cost of export, with zero travel time. We can do this. But that's not sustainable, they tell you. It's not sustainable. Because the Wu-Tang clan says you got to eat the cornflakes, yo. Them GMO cornflakes is vegan and they save the world, yo. Bon bon. Come on. Come on. Now an Impossible Burger is supposedly sustainable. An Impossible Burger. An Impossible Burger is sustainable. Let's see if this has... I want to see, show how the Impossible Burger is made.
Lab. It's called the Impossible Burger, and it's 100% made from plants. But unlike your typical veggie burger, this is bloody and red, and it cooks and tastes like an actual beef patty. And several US chefs have already put it on their menus. But the big difference between this and a veggie burger? Scientists made it using neuroscience. They started with one pretty profound question.
What makes meat meat?
Celeste Holtz-Schiedinger is a flavor scientist.
How do you get your brain to actually eat a food and say, yum, and
You can tell she's a scientist because she's wearing a white lab coat.
associate it with actually eating meat, even though this action hasn't come from an animal.
This is crucial. The Impossible Burger scientists aren't just making a vegetarian patty that you can eat.
This is sustainable, guys. This is totally sustainable. But you having your own goats, you having your own chickens, you having your own cows, slaughtering those, well, their farts are going to ruin the world. We've got to take GMO soy and turn it into a fake burger with a bunch of glyphosate-drenched wheat.
Instead of a burger.
That's sustainable. And it's
They
enlightened.
want the Impossible Burger
Bonk,
to be
bonk.
the same exact experience as eating a beef burger.
You
Richard
couldn't pay
Brown
me to
is a
eat that.
neuroscientist at Impossible Foods.
The hamburger will send
all
all
these
sorts.
computers and neuroscientists. Ooh, totally sustainable. This is what we need to feed the world. How about you just let people do what they've been doing for thousands of years? How about you just allow people to continue using animal husbandry and intelligent use of their land with animal husbandry and restorative agriculture, permaculture? How about that? No, we want GMO Impossible Burgers. This is sustainable.
To our sensory organs, to our ears, nose, to our eyes and tongue. It's only when those sense organs send information to the brain and they get integrated that we can ever become aware of the fact that we're experiencing a hamburger.
What a waste of words. Well, when my words come from my mouth, they create a vibration that runs through the air. That vibration actually hits the inner drum of your ear, which vibrates in concert with the words, which then travels through the synapses of your brain and allows you to comprehend the words that I'm saying. Without a scientist to explain this to you, you'd be fucking lost.
To create that same sensory experience, so the brain can't tell the difference. Which takes us back to this question.
What makes meat meat?
To answer that, scientists here are literally breaking down a beef patty molecule by molecule.
Literally.
And there are trillions of them. This machine isolates every single aroma molecule in a burger. Flavor scientists sit here, sniff, and then jot down what they smell.
Floral rose, apricot, foot, cheesy, macaroni and cheese, old people, crackers, some rotting garbage, something you don't want. But at the right combination, that gives you the experience and signal to your brain to say, yes, I'm eating meat.
Let's listen to that one more time.
Macaroni and cheese.
And then jot down what they smell.
Floral rose.
In a burger. Flavor scientists sit here, sniff, and then jot down what they smell.
Floral rose, apricot, foot, cheesy, macaroni and cheese.
So sciencey.
Old people, crackers, some rotting garbage, something you don't want. But
These are smell scientists, guys. This is the cutting edge of science. This is what they feed people. They feed you this bullshit, and people actually believe this. We got to stop paying attention to this nonsense. We're sitting here, I'm watching it, we're laughing at it, but it's like, people take this seriously. This actually fools people.
right combination, that gives you the experience and signal to your brain to say, yes, I'm eating meat, and this is tasty.
And one molecule is essential to that flavor. It's called heme, and it looks and tastes like blood.
In cows, that's the catalyst, the driver for all of the aroma compounds that make meat. It's also responsible for the color. It is bright red in color, and upon cooking, turns brown.
Turns out, you can extract heme from soy plants. Over 5 years, scientists honed in on other natural ingredients that create the same sensory experience as a hamburger, like wheat proteins for the fleshy texture of beef, potato proteins for a crispy exterior when seared, yam and xanthan gums to hold the ingredients together, and flakes of coconut oil that melt on a grill, then sizzle like beef fat.
So it's just totally sustainable. We're going to import coconut oil from halfway across the world. We're going to have all these different fake foods just to make you think it's got blood in it. Which, when they talk about blood, like blood flows through the veins. There's so many interstitial fluids. They call it blood, but it's not like you're eating blood or drinking blood. We don't promote eating blood or any degenerate practices like that here on this channel. We don't promote drinking blood or any of this nonsense. They try to equate the interstitial fluids that are in meat and say that that's blood. This is not blood. Not everything that's red in the meat is blood. The blood flows through the veins. And them juices are what we're eating, and that's what people want. Look at this.
When you mix those together, it looks and feels like raw beef, And that's when a sensory experience starts to kick in. This is the moment when scientists hope the brain won't be able to tell the difference between a beef burger and the Impossible Burger. The Impossible Foods scientists are still tweaking that sensory experience, trying to make a better burger.
There was a video they had.
Ground beef.
They showed.
A product of genetic engineering.
All right, this is
bleeds like a medium rare burger. But this patty is actually all plant, a product of genetic engineering. It's the first step in an effort to take on the multi-billion-dollar meat industry.
You won't be disappointed. Exactly. It's not blood and muscle meat, it's myoglobin. But that's what these people talk about. And unfortunately, a lot of people, even in the carnivore thing, they're getting duped into degenerate practices like drinking blood. Things that have always led to degeneracy. Yeah. Not everybody's drinking blood lately. A few degenerates promote blood drinking, but we don't promote that here. Listen to this. This is funny. Where's the part about, here it comes.
It's hard to overstate the magic of a
Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Speaking of degeneracy, I didn't pay my freaking electricity, and they came and turned it off. Yeah, all right, that's cool. A bunch of people left. Half the people left. What's wrong with drinking blood is that it leads to degenerate practices and has historically led to things like human sacrifice, obsession over drinking blood. Yeah, it's a degenerate practice, and for many reasons, it's been forbidden in many religions. And I mean, there's a reason why, as Orthodox Christians, we are told not to drink blood. It leads to cannibalistic tendencies, obsessions with drinking blood, and the life forces in the blood. So there are nuances and there are caveats to this. There are foods and there are practices that are not clean, that are unclean. And drinking blood is a degenerate practice that we will never promote here. And the thing that's what's wrong with drinking blood is just that. All right. So, let's finish watching this. Yeah, I mentioned Orthodox Christian. Definitely shut him down, right? Yeah, if any of you guys have a problem with me saying that we don't promote drinking blood here and that it is a degenerate practice that leads to unclean obsessions, that has historically led to cannibalism, human sacrifice, that if you have a problem with that, it's fine. You want to go drink adrenochrome, you want to go do that shit, that's cool. You can join those degenerate crowds, and you can do that. That's fine. But here we're about eat meat, make families. We're about real family values, about creating real good culture. Yeah, animal blood too. That's why all these cultures have historically been involved in sacrifice, animal sacrifice. Eventually, usually ends up leading to human sacrifice as well. So unfortunately, we don't promote that here. But we're done talking about it, okay? Let's go back to, here we go.
Meat, what happens is the protein that's carrying the heme, myoglobin in muscle, opens up, the heme comes out, and catalyzes a bunch of reactions that create the volatile compounds that really give that smell, that flavor that makes meat so compelling.
All right, just to close it, someone said it'd be really interesting to read about the history of drinking blood and those practices. I mean, look at the Maya culture. Look at the Inca culture. The Inca culture wasn't so bad. The Maya, Aztec, Babylonian cultures.
Your traditional veggie burger can't get the...
But veganism is the ultimate cannibalism because you're literally eating your own body all the time, right? You're not drinking other people's blood. You're eating your own body.
Taste anywhere near right because they ain't got that heme. But plants can...
Someone said, I watched a video of some woman says she needs to drink blood every day or she gets withdrawal symptoms. Exactly. These people become addicted and degenerate and obsessed with it. All right, we're done talking about it, though. We're changing the subject, all right? We're moving back. Let's hear how they mimic myoglobin and the interstitial fluids and the red juices that you get in meat, which are not the lifeblood, which are not like eating live blood, which is full of adrenochrome and adrenaline, right? But let's see what they say about how they get this beautiful GMO heme from soy.
Molecules just like animals do. Specifically of interest to Impossible Foods is the root of the soy plant, which contains leghemoglobin. This helps ferry oxygen around. It also contains that magical heme. But the amount of soy roots these scientists would need in order to produce enough heme would be outlandish.
And the more efficient approach that we came up with was to engineer a yeast and have that produce very high quantities of that heme.
So they GMO'd a yeast, they genetically modified a yeast to produce a fake heme, and then listen.
What Impossible Foods has invented is a tiny heme machine. And with meat-free heme, it has the foundation of a stunning imitation of a beef burger. So let's find out how they do it.
This is where we really try to understand what makes meat meat, test each of the kind of key parameters.
Impossible is trying to isolate and then recreate as many meat-like components as they can. And this machine is helping them do it.
So what I have in front of you is a gas chromatogram mass spectrometer. What this does is allows for us to be able to take a sample, so say a beef sample, put it in here, we'll move this sample. We have a nice little robot that'll take that sample and move it into a cooker. So then we could cook this sample at whatever temperature we want to understand what flavors are generated upon cooking. So those aromas, again, is what creates the flavor of meat. So we will now have kind of a fingerprint of every single aroma that is in beef. And then we can say, how close is the Impossible Burger? Where can we make improvements and iterate to identify how to make each of those particular flavor compounds? The other part that's really important in a burger or all meats is the textural component. What are the things that are driving texture in meat? Those are proteins, and we want to characterize those particular proteins. Then as we identify what those particular proteins' properties are, we go and look in plants for plant proteins that have those same properties. And then behind me, I have Michelle, who's one of our scientists who really takes each of those individual proteins.
So remember, this is all instead of just slaughtering a cow, grinding up meat, and making a burger. This is all instead of just letting a cow eat grass, slaughtering it, and getting hundreds, and if it's a big-ass cow, if you're in the States, thousands of pounds of meat from it. They say it's unsustainable because they fart. This is all about consolidating the food supply and removing your ability to actually feed yourself.
Characterizes it, understands, is it stretchy? How much tensile strength does it have? How much water does it hold? And by characterizing each of those particular proteins, we then understand how it will behave in our particular burger.
So it all comes down to these ingredients, which include the heme, wheat protein for texture, and coconut as a stand-in for fat. Add them all together and it starts to look more and more like a beef patty. The result is a meatless burger that's so convincing it may as well be meat.
All right, pretty impressive.
We even asked our resident chef to give it a taste.
So it's really simulating that juicy center layer that you would get in a nice mid-rare burger. So you can see on the outside, we've got that nice golden crust, but in the center it's still bloody and rare. Except this.
Look at these like pale, pasty, effeminate dweebs who've never been involved in real foods, from Wired magazine, of course. Wired magazine. So I mean, how crazy is this, man? How crazy is this? How about you just have some chickens in your backyard? How about you just go on Craigslist, find a local meat producer? Or, I think in the resources section, there we go, grass-fed meat delivered. You can get grass-fed meat delivered. You get U.S. Wellness. There's Crowd Cow. So in the resources section in the description down below, check out the Crowd Cow link. You can actually crowdsource and buy big orders of like an entire cow with your friends and family. Crowd Cow allows you to buy big portions of meat in bulk of grass-fed, good quality meat. Why do we need this? This is because big industry wants to consolidate power, wants to feed you Soylent Slop, wants to degenerate your culture using toxic culture, using drugs, using music, using the Wu-Tang Clan, right? And just, they want to destroy the family, destroy your ability to feed yourselves, and they want to consolidate power on behalf of themselves. They want to make themselves your gods. They want to disconnect you from reality and truth, and they want to sell you Soylent bullshit. They want to sell you Dancing with the Stars. Crazy. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up. The next Keto and Carnivore Collective, it's starting on December 9th. If you want to support our work here, we got the Eat Meat, Make Families tees, tanks, and hoodies. What else? We've got books. You can check out all the links in the description down below. The next Keto and Carnivore Collective, December 9th through January 6th. It's our group community coaching, which is really cool because we get to do coaching in a group setting. People get to support each other, share their experiences with each other. And it's a really fun way of doing coaching where we're able to not only handle more clients, but do it for cheaper and give you more time and better attention, more resources, more one-on-one time. And you have the community aspect to it. So the Keto and Carnivore Collective for the next round is starting in, I think, 2 weeks. We're going to take a week off in between this one and the next one. And, yeah, so that's starting on December 9th. We'll see all you guys there. Keep it nice in the chat, guys. So anyways, you're way more than what you eat. Luke's got the Eat Meat and Make Families hoodies. He's got one of those. That's awesome, man. They're all organic cotton, too. So it's none GMO crap, no Monsanto crap that you're supporting. Now, we only work with small family businesses. We only work with legit people like Crowd Cow. So check out Crowd Cow. We've got a link in the description down there. Better than the Impossible Burger, but it won't be quite as enlightened as the RZA from Wu-Tang will. So maybe we should close by listening to RZA talking about how we're all the same. Where'd that go? Here's RZA for PETA telling you what's up.
We are all the same in all the ways that matter. It doesn't matter what. We are all the same in all the ways
Make
that
families,
matter.
guys. Take back your culture.
It doesn't matter what we look like.
Get connected with your source of food.
What language we speak, or who we love.
Get connected to the truth.
It doesn't matter if we have fur or feathers.
This is degeneracy.
Or fins.
Can't
the
destroy
length of our
humanity.
nose or the number of legs.
Look at this. What a joke.
We're not different in any important way. We all have thoughts and feelings.
Leave it that. We all are sheep. You all just the same as a sheep, yo. Soy-Tang clan. Degenerating cultures for generations. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Don't take it personally. I'm not saying that all of you guys you're bad people if you've been drinking blood. I'm just saying that there's a reason we don't promote that here. And there's a reason why it's forbidden. So anyways, eat meat, make families, guys. We're not doing Rainbow Around the Moon today because I don't want to hear it. It gets stuck in my head forever. All right, God bless, guys.